This is Shit My Daddy Didn't Teach Me. I'm your host, Hugo. This is Mullen, Marley, and Shannon.
Welcome to Shit My Daddy Didn't Teach Me, a podcast hosted by Hugo. Join him as he explores his life journey and how the lack of a strong father figure left him to chance to have to figure out life through trial and error. Get ready for inspiring conversations and stories to help you live your best life and recognize how you're not alone in your journey.
Welcome to another episode of Shit My Daddy Didn't Teach Me. I'm your host, Hugo, and we're here with Red. The United States has over 18 million fatherless children. That is more than any other nation in the world. I'll give you some stats. According to the Census Bureau, 17.6 million children, nearly 1 in every 4, live without a biological, step, or adoptive father in the home. Now, let's frame that a little bit, right? That's enough children to fill New York City twice.
2 times New York City.
Yes. Or Los Angeles 4 times.
It's an epidemic. Fatherlessness epidemic. I did not know that fatherlessness was actually a real word. Do you know how sad that makes me that that's a real word and it's a real epidemic out there? Look at the stats that you just said. 18 million children. Our 2 largest cities can be filled twice,
multiple times,
and 4 times with just children. And not just, look at the stat that you just said. This is not just they don't have a biological father. No. They don't have a stepfather. They don't have any male in their life.
At home.
At home.
1 in every 4. It is really staggering when you look at the statistics, because we know that it's been a problem, but we don't realize how much of a problem it's been, hence the word that we use, epidemic, because it really is, because there's a lot of issues that stem from that root.
And that's the whole premise of this podcast, right? Because like you said, how many people are unaware that we have that many children living without a father? And the only way that we're going to start to do something about it is if people are aware there's a problem.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
They literally say that the father is the foundation for the home. It is what makes children secure. It is what makes children feel protected. And 18 million children are out there that will never feel that.
Absolutely.
Something has to be done.
Yeah.
Those statistics are blowing my mind right now thinking about it.
Yeah. 1 in every 4.
And you look at another statistic that we were talking about. Fatherless families are 4 times more likely to live in poverty. So now you're taking a child who has no protection and you're sending them into a poverty childhood. That's how they're growing up. So when we wonder why we have children all over the world who are living in lack and are seeking everything outside of themselves, look how they grew up. Yeah. They grew up with no protection. They grew up with no means. They just grew up with so much lack. Of course, that's what they seek because that's what they know. And
you got to think about this. So the stat you just said, 4 times likely to live in poverty. So they're 4 times more likely to live in poverty. That's just, you're talking about monetary. Like, let's talk about, there's poverty of our mind, because we're human beings. We weren't really put here to make money. And I think when we think about poverty, we think about how people live. But there are people who live or are rich that are also impoverished because they're not getting what they need, biologically.
Absolutely.
And so when we look at the biological piece of being fathered, it's more than paying for what clothes you have on your back. It's more because if that was the case, the lions would be fucked because I don't think they have access to money.
They do not. They say that the humans are the only species that goes against the laws of nature. No other species worries about the monetary, worries about the rat race, worries about the titles, how they look. They just care. They reproduce, and then they love and take care of, and they create lions, they create kings, they create things that will carry on their lineage, carry on their purpose.
But it's inside out. 100%. So if you're empty, if you're just an empty shell, there's nothing inside. And when you look at nature, of course, we pick a animal like the eagle or the lion that thrives because it knows who it is and what it was put here to do.
Absolutely.
And even when you look at the faith of how long an eagle sits on an egg before it hatches, I mean, that takes a lot of faith. You know what you have down there is an eagle, not a fucking chicken. So it takes a little longer, to form. So it's just interesting. Here's some other stats. Prison inmates are 70 to 85% of long-term prison inmates or youths that grow up in prison were fatherless.
And let me tell you something. That's something that hits really true to me. And that's something that I can speak on firsthand because
we have the best defense attorney in the world here. So tell us a little bit about that.
No, I have.
And the correlation between fatherlessness.
I have been a criminal defense attorney for 15 years. And I didn't used to pick up on it or notice, but in the past several years, I started asking clients, did you grow up with a father in your home? And 90% of my clients say no. And when I really start to look at it, I start to get into their background. So they didn't grow up with a father. Then their grandfather was in prison, and every male role model that they have was in prison or non-existent.
Absolutely.
And so you start to ask them about their lives, and they got into drugs and gangs and all of these things in such a young age because all they were seeking was validation, acceptance. And so you have these young men in particular, and don't get me wrong, having a young woman without a father has its own issues and leads to its own. And I can think of several clients that I've had, but it's so predominant in males.
Absolutely.
And, there was a story, and if you want to know the power of being a father and how it can change your life and your children's life, this just recently happened to me, so it really resonates with me, and it still sits right here. I had a client, his father, he's never known him. And because of that, he got into drugs at 11. He just hung out with the wrong people. And he's now 26 years old, and he has a son. And he's been in and out of prison. And he has been just non-existent in his son's life because of this drug use. Mm-hmm. Well, the mother of his children passed away.
Yeah.
His mother is raising his two children, a son and a daughter. He's been sober for a little bit. He's in a sober facility. Mm-hmm. And he goes to visit his children, and his mother allows him because he's sober. And he takes his son and his daughter to the park. And his daughter runs off to play. And his son's favorite thing is the slide. And they go to the park, and the son will not let go of his dad's hand. And the dad walks him to the slide, and he's like, go play. And he says, no, Dad, because I'm scared that by the time I get to the bottom of the slide, you'll be gone. Mm. And my client said that was the moment he decided he had to get better and do better to be in his son's life, because he did not want his son to turn into him. And hearing his 6-year-old know and be able to articulate, I think if I let go of your hand for 1 minute, by the time I turn around, you're going to be gone. That shows you how much kids are aware.
Yes.
And how traumatizing it is for them.
It is. You talk about without a father, 3 to 20 times more likely to be incarcerated. Fatherlessness is powerful. Here's another stat I'll give you. 80% of rapists come from fatherless homes. In 56 school shootings, 82% came from single parent homes. It's a powerful predictor of a lot of things.
And let's just go back and again, all of these things I can talk about so much. The number one thing that they say that a horrible violent crime like rape is a crime of power.
Yes.
The number one thing that someone that has no power is seeking is power, right?
Yeah.
And you take away, again, what do we say that the father is to the home? He's the structure. He's the protector. He is what gives the children security. So you take away that piece from the home and you just have a home full of insecure, lost children. And so when they're seeking that, they are more likely to commit crimes like that. They are more likely to seek things outside of themselves, to reach out. It is such a devastating thing to take away what kids need the most, and it's protection.
Yes.
You just talked about an eagle sitting on its egg for that long. The second it hatches, children of animals, in nature, they're so vulnerable because you have, a baby lion, you have all of these things. The number one predators are looking for the children, right?
Yes.
That's the easiest ones. They can't fight themselves off.
Defend.
So those parents, they're never, ever leaving them alone, unsupervised, unguided. I'll tell you, I had experience with it. A mother moose is probably one of the deadliest animals around when it's with its children. They will do anything to protect their children. Again, humans are the only species that go against nature, the laws of nature. We leave our children out there. So, the stats that, let's just continue. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 90% of all homeless and runaway children come from fatherless homes. 90% of homeless and fatherless children come from fatherless homes. If we do not see an issue with this and we do not start doing something about this, we're going to be in for a really rude awakening as a society.
As you were talking, I thought about this. You talked about the moose.
Yeah.
The thing that is distinctly different between the moose and most humans, the moose does not have an identity problem. The moose knows why it was put here.
Man.
And it acts in such a nature of why it was put here. So now they can do their job of protecting. Well, as humans, what I see is we don't know why we're here. So we have children and we're still trying to figure out ourselves. And it's still now, oh my God, you're taking away from my time. I've heard people say stuff like, oh my God, look what you did to my body. A mother said that to a child one time. Whether it's joking or it's ridiculous. It's a beautiful thing to have a child. But that's the insecurity of that human speaking insecurity into the child.
Right.
So you can't protect something if you need to be protected. So a lot of our adults are walking out here unprotected.
Yes.
And having children and trying to protect the children. You can't protect something if you need it. You need to be, your bases have to be covered.
You cannot give something you don't have.
No, you're giving out a lack and you don't have it. So
if you don't love yourself, you're unable to give true, unconditional love to your child.
Absolutely.
You don't even know the definition of love.
And for those of you that need a graphic of this, if I'm not unable to breathe, I can't do this.
If I don't have
time.
air for myself, I can't give you any to help you breathe.
No,
I can't.
No. So, you have to have something in abundance to give. And a lot of us are operating out of lack. And when you talked about the moose again, I could see the parallel of the moose knowing and being sturdy within who she is. And so her job at that time is to protect versus, oh, I need an identity outside of my child. Like, who do you need an identity for? And
again, I think that if we want to really look at families and parents raising children and the reason why the father is so critical. I'm a mother. I'm not speaking on, I don't know, or I'm not saying women, listen, both parents are vital,
very
and
important,
critical,
and they play roles.
Critical.
Yeah.
But when we're looking at these statistics, the last one I have written down, 60% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. When we are looking at the element that the father adds, that protection, you have to really look at, can the home survive without him? Let's go back to lions. Let's go back to nature.
Yes.
Why do you think the women go hunt? The women go hunt because the male has to stay behind to protect the hide. The pride. So if the man goes and hunts, when he gets back, there might not be a pride to feed.
No kids, no nothing.
Nothing. That is what another pride is looking for. They are looking for that opportunity. He has to, and people laugh like, oh, but he's just there sleeping. No, he's conserving his energy. Because let me tell you something, if somebody comes to threaten his pride, he's going to be up so fast, and all of his energy was saved to do what he is born to do. See, every other species knows its purpose and knows the king of that pride is there to protect its pride.
Yes.
And it will be a bad day for anyone that comes to try to challenge that.
Absolutely.
So when you look at that,
that's when you're in tune with nature.
In tune.
Yeah.
The woman doesn't scoff and say, why do I have to go hunt again? She knows her role.
Because there's purpose.
She knows her purpose. And that's when we look at how important it is. These statistics should really, really scare people. And they should really cause people to pause. And I think they should cause you to look at what you're doing. You cannot just reproduce recklessly and not have a plan.
And if you happen to reproduce, you have to understand that mother, that father is a pivotal part of the identity of that child. And you guys have something beautiful, not something to use against each other, but something beautiful. And you have an assignment and a responsibility to that child because they weren't asked to be here. And so we have to do something to solve this problem. So we have awareness, and then we need a plan. And I think fixing ourselves is a sure way to get to this plan because we really do see the world as we are.
Not as it is.
I'm the way about my children because I see myself as a sturdy, competent, loving human being. So that's all I have to give to my children is what I have in abundance. And I view my life very seriously. So I view their life very seriously. You can't fake it. You can't be insecure about you, but secure about your children.
You cannot.
You have to put the man together first. You have to put the woman together first. You have to figure out who the fuck you are so that you could give them the best available. That's the only way this is gonna work. Because when you look at them, you look at yourself. But you do view the world from the inside out.
Absolutely. And, you just said that's how you take care of your children. You take care of yourself first.
You have to.
Everything that I see you do from what you consume in books and podcasts and, literature, to the food, to the company that you keep. You cannot say, I won't allow these people around my children and then allow just anybody around yourself. Yeah. You literally have to live the life that you're going to go and then provide for your children. And again, when we look at these statistics, that's the whole reason for this show. I do not think people are aware. People might know like, oh, Tim doesn't have a dad in his house. That's fine. I don't think that they know the risk that Tim faces and the statistics that he has in front of him.
And parents, and I'm sure we'll go into it on other topics, but you're all you have. And I think we have to start realizing that you can't fight. The queen is not going to fight the king. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And whether or not you guys are together or not, you have a product. You have something that you should be proud of. And this is totally unacceptable, because this is the eagle, this is the moose having that child and leaving them to chance. They're gonna get eaten.
They are.
They're getting eaten from a bear. It's not a bear. It's corporations.
It's society.
The government. It's the system. If we look back at the stats, your children now, our children, because they're all our fucking children.
They all
Because you
are.
know what? When I go pump gas, the fatherless child that pulls up, that's hungry inside, who the fuck is he gonna rob? Who's he gonna fight?
Yeah.
Who's he gonna go to for advice? Who's he gonna talk to? The guy at the station. So they're all our children. And that's another reason for the show. As a father, I'm personally compelled to bring awareness, solve problems, and world problems. We want to leave this world better than it is. It is a beautiful thing to be alive.
Yes.
And that's why we're here.
And just because you don't have it in your house, that's why we want to talk. That's why we want to bring awareness. There's 1 million people out there, actually 18 million people out there just like you. So to be able to be a community for each other, to be able to, because again, we've been talking about, fatherlessness. That's the male role. That male role affects women and men. These statistics are not just young men that are suffering. No, as a woman who grew up with a father in the home, but busy working and not being present, it has affected, I have had to do a lot of work on myself, because you grow up without that protector. You grow up, if the protector is always out somewhere else, giving all of his time and attention somewhere else, the rippling effects are felt, of the absence is felt no matter what. And so you can be present and not present, and not generate a presence in your home. And again, that effect is lifelong.
That's another statistic. So you have the absentees, and then you have the ones that are in the house, but in the fucking basement, can't be found, out trying to provide. And here's something that I had to learn in the last year and a half. As a father, you protect in many ways and you provide in many ways. Monetary is just one, and that's a trick of society.
Absolutely.
Because if you're both out doing monetary shit,
who's watching the kids?
The prisons are watching the kids.
The drugs, the gangs.
Instagram is watching the kids.
If you let social media raise your children,
who else is watching the kids?
Why do you think 60% of youth suicides happen from fatherless homes?
Video games are watching the kids.
Social media, video games are telling your kids they got to look like this, do like this, and now do this challenge, compete in this, do all that. And our kids are dying. Our kids are getting locked up. Our kids are homeless. The world, man, we had to do something about it.
We have to.
Yeah.
So that's our show for today. The epidemic of fatherlessness, excuse me. And we just push for something better. And I think that it starts with our own identity. It starts with us identifying who we are and what we want and where we're going.
You can't fix a problem you don't know about. You can't fix a problem you can't acknowledge. And so until we start really acknowledging how powerful fathers are, you know, people talk about mothers all the time. Yes, we are amazing. We grow humans. Listen, there is no body greater than a woman's body. We grow life. But if you grow life and then do not care that it is left out in the open and left for chance and left with no protector, then what did you go through all that for? And if you look at the miracle of actually getting pregnant, actually having a child, the statistic is like 1 in 400 million is your likelihood of, it's a miracle. Every child is an actual miracle. So let's protect them as such. Let's raise them as such. Let's draw awareness to the issues and fix the actual issues with them.
Absolutely. This is Hugo and Red. Shit my daddy didn't teach me. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you for joining us on Shit My Daddy Didn't Teach Me. We hope today's conversation has inspired you to reflect on your own journey and the choices that shape your destiny. Join us again next time for more thought-provoking discussions and uplifting stories. Visit us at www.shitmydaddydidn'tteachme.com.